Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond, welcoming you to the Degrassi January 2020 video. I know I took a bit of a break to deal with the Degrassi seasons format, so hopefully you enjoyed that. The link to the seasons thing will be down below in the description. So, yeah, a lot of Degrassi stuff has been happening on the Degrassi Reddit. People have been talking about, Rick and his role and all that, and how Rick should be sympathized a little bit, and that Rick chose to go to the lion's den and chose to get what was coming to him. I don't totally agree with that theory. I just basically think that, it's hard. As someone who's done a couple of videos about Rick Murray, like doing a case study on him, and 5 things Rick should or should not have done in the Degrassi shooting timeline. I mean, yeah, I have a lot to say about that. Of course, I'll put the link to the playlist down below, I think, right? Oh, no, wait. When I post this to the Degrassi Reddit thing, it'll have the number on it, and then it'll show the playlist. Okay, well, anyway. And recently, they've been talking about who's the worst principal in Degrassi history, and there have been plenty of hate towards Shep, towards Pill. Snake has gotten a lot of hate. Hatzalakos hasn't really gotten that much hate, and Raj hasn't gotten that much hate either. But I did a Degrassi principals video last April, and my ranking for them would be, well, they said who was the worst principal, but principals from 1 to 5 would definitely be Hatzalakos, Snake, Radich, Shep, Hill. All that. Well, the reasons are Hatzalakos helped the school get out of the funk after the shooting and all that, although she had anything towards Peter. Snake's longevity, being principal and all that, got him to be number 2. I mean, he's had a lot of scandals under his nose. Radich is number 3. He seemed decent, but unfortunately, it was practically the Rick Murray situation. Basically, had people realize how much of a tightwad he was. Shep was okay in a sense. He lasted 1 season, but unfortunately, it was controversial because he wanted to make Degrassi into a fun school, and Pill came in after Snake got investigated for Degrassi Nudes, and Pill basically had the right idea with a few policies, but the no affection policy still gets me to this day. So yeah, I've been talking about that on the Reddit. Today is Wednesday, January 29th. It's an important day in Canada because today is Belle Let's Talk Day, and Belle says for every share of their Facebook post, like the profile pic, wall thing, text, phone, or internet thing to do in Bell services, they'll donate 5 cents towards mental health initiatives. I did a video on Maya with the health initiatives and all that. That wasn't going to be that isn't the official January 2020 video. I just did because I did promise, I don't know what video I did, but I promised to do a Maya case study, and I did Maya case study. So anyway, yeah, no disrespect to the Americans who are viewing this and all that this is just Canada, but I've actually hosted 2 in a sense because I don't have Bell stuff. My cable and my TV provider is Rogers, so basically I can't participate in that. So I had originally planned on my video being 10 characters who deserved a better fate. And I wanted to put the thing on Reddit, but no one responded, so I'm basically not too happy about it. But I will tell you 10 characters who should have had a happy ending and all that. It'll be a double bill. It'll be 10 characters that should have had a better ending, in my mind. Of course, this is my list, so there might be some disagreement. And I'll also talk about the 20 best characters in Degrassi history. Of course, I'm not going to rank them because, all that. I will put a list in the description of the characters and all that, and I'll let the Reddit community rank from 1 to 20, and then maybe I'll do a rankings video in the next few weeks. Personal note, I know that in a few videos I've been talking about being at work and all that, and not having time to do stuff. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago today, I was canned from my job at Shoppers Drug Mart because of some hour stuff. It was not my performance. I did a great performance. So logically, I'm going to end up not liking myself. There's a transit strike in Kitchener-Waterloo, and that's actually hurting my chances to try to find employment. Because I know that there's a place that the job agency that helped me get the Shoppers job said that it's good, but it's bus related. Today's Wednesday. Oh, yeah. So tomorrow there's actually going to be a vote on ratifying the new agreement. So if the people at Grand River Transit talk about it and get it right, then probably Monday buses will be back up and running in KW area. Okay, so 10 characters who deserved a better fate. Now I'm doing this without a list. Like, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I basically think that 10 characters who deserved a better fate. Like, Claire deserves a better fate because, after season 14 when she graduates, it's like, what's her plans and all that? And we never got to know anything about Claire after season 14. I mean, Claire was drama. Basically, a lot of people thought she was drama. She wasn't like Emma and took up causes. And she didn't have a tragic death / suicide like Maya. But Claire was just drama towards Eli and all that. It was kind of weird why Claire and Eli wanted to get together. But I think Claire was just basically angry that her parents were splitting up and all that. And she was raised to believe that marriage was forever. And all that. Claire had a lot of things going against her. Like, I know she was the main protagonist, in a sense, in her era. And practically that people thought that Claire was just terrible and all that. I tend to disagree because, Claire is a decent character and all that. So, yeah. Another character who deserved a better fate was Toby. I feel like Toby was very underutilized. And a lot of people said that Toby basically was pushed aside when Craig came in season 2. And Toby basically didn't have a lot of good storylines. He did have a nice storyline when he was on the wrestling team. And he started to lose weight, mostly to avoid Sean, because Sean was the same weight class as him. And then Toby, unfortunately, has an eating disorder. And I didn't know this, but Degrassi did a good job capturing males and eating disorders. Not just because, there's a perception that only females have it, but the camera angles and all that, and how it's shaking and all that. I didn't even notice that first run. And then I'm like, wow, cool. So Toby didn't have a lot of storylines. He was Rick's friend in the Rick Murray situation. So, yeah. And then, of course, JT died. And all that. So Toby couldn't carry on his weight, if you will. Another character who deserved a better fate was possibly Fiona and Anya. I mean, they both had difficulties dealing with things. Fiona had alcoholism, and Anya had, trust issues. And during the first few seasons she was on, basically Anya was being pushed around by Holly J, which was kind of stupid in a sense. But yeah, those two deserved a better fate. Alex deserved a better fate, so we'll make Alex number 5. It's not in any order. Alex deserved a better fate. I mean, yeah, I know everyone hated on her because she was part of the prank with the painted feathers, and basically she got off scot-free. But that was mostly because Spinner and Jay basically didn't want to name her. Excuse me. So basically what ends up happening is that, so Alex gets in a relationship with Paige. Basically, Alex is portrayed as having someone who's ruining the relationship, and, she becomes an exotic dancer for money because of her mother struggles financially and all that. Yeah, Alex deserved a better fate. Who else deserved a better fate? and who was basically, I would say Darcy, but probably not. Who deserved a better fate? Well, Hatzelackle's up in. I would have said Hatzelackle's, but because, well, she came back for season 9 because of Shep's ineptness, and then she left everything in charge of Snake. A better fate. Well, Esme for sure, because we deserve to know what Esme's biggest problems were. Basically, we knew Esme was kind of weird in a sense, but by season 4 of Next Class, it ratcheted up a level. Basically, she was in a love triangle with Sig and Frankie. I think trying to get at Sig and all that. And of course, Maya inadvertently going to the prom with Sig. It was inadvertent. So anyway, yeah, Maya didn't really deserve a better fate because she had a good fate. Esme, she lost a month of school. She couldn't graduate and all that. She had that problem, and thankfully she was told to get the help she needed, and I think she did get the help, but unfortunately we'll never know unless they do something about it. Yeah, so Esme deserved a better fate. Who else deserved a better fate when they left the show? I can't really say JT because, well, I could say JT and Cam because, being killed off and all that, literally, and Adam being killed off. Those three should have had better fates. I mean, JT, I know his actor was trying to leave and go to college, but what they could have done was say JT accepts a position, like an acting job in another city, and then he just ups and leaves. They could have just easily done that. They could have easily, said, well, Adam, it's like, I was pissing us that they basically killed Adam off before we kind of knew everything about his transgender issues. And Cam, well, yeah, I mean, putting Cam, a guy who was homesick and all that, he deserved a better fate than committing suicide. And 10th would definitely be Raditch. I mean, yeah, I know I've made videos on his character and all that. Practically 2 years ago, I was ready to, say that he was a giant cunt, if you will. My words, don't take it away. So anyway, I did the research and all that, and I figured that, I was giving him more flack than he deserved. I mean, okay, yes, he did deserve to be shipped away because of how he mishandled Rick's situation. But Rick did not come straightforward to Raj. He said that Jimmy was bothering him, but he didn't say the magic words about bullying. And that could have helped. Raj, I think, would have taken him seriously enough. I mean, I know that Raj was trying to fix things, but if he was trying to fix things, he should not have basically got the drama club so worked up that they refused to sing a bad song about him. And also, the fact is that, that deleted scene, he was going to talk to Spitter after school and all that. Did he forget about Spitter? Spitter probably would have spilled his guts. And then that could have saved Raj's character. I mean, him not overreacting in the aftermath, I think that basically saved him. But I also think that the school board was doing an investigation about why Rick was left to his own devices. And I think the basic fact was that Raj had to be truthful. I mean, he got reassigned. If he wasn't truthful about his role in things, Raj would have been kicked to the curb and probably would have been at the mercy of a lawsuit or something. I think the school board basically might have had to pay Rick's parents some money or something like that. Some kind of settlement. But I think Rick's parents probably didn't get much of a settlement because their son's a school shooter and no sympathy. So yeah, he deserved a better fate and all that. My fate for him would be basically he leaves at the end of season 4, just finishing it off and giving Hatzelackles the school. Okay, so that part's done. Now let's talk about the 20 greatest Degrassi characters ever. Now these are MVPs of seasons. Well, I had 18 in it, and I asked for 2 runners-up. The 2 runners-up were Spitter and Paige. Spitter was basically portrayed as this kind of bully person. He had ADD. It was only mentioned in one episode. Spitter basically was there to cause trouble. Spitter had issues with Marco's homosexuality, but he grew out of it. He grew more accepting to Marco, and he even helps Marco a couple times. So that's good for him. Season 4 is when season 3 is when he and Paige were a power couple. And they tried their best to get Terry to not go after Rick because, Rick is a psycho for hurting her once. Of course, Rick puts Terry in a coma and practically Terry's knocked off the show in a sense. Spitter in season 4 would be a at all costs guy. I mean, he has a relationship with Manny while balancing the fact of his bullying of Rick. So basically, Spinner gets in trouble. Spinner, of course, confesses that the Painted Feathers was his plan the whole time. He doesn't say anything about the fact that he and Jay basically got Jimmy shot at because they were trying to deflect the blame off them. So anyway, Spinner gets expelled, and then Spinner uses season 5 to try to get redemption for everything. He's with Darcy, he's with the Friendship Club, he tries everything in his power to get Jimmy to forgive him, and Jimmy does forgive him at the end of season 5. And then, Spinner was a decent character in 6 and 7. I know he had testicular cancer, and he was dealing with that issue and all that, and practically, he popped up and he married Emma, which is weird. Paige was a fantastic person. I know I didn't put her as an MVP. I should have put her for season 4, but there's reasons why. But anyway, Paige was, this kind of mean girl in a sense. Like, she was kind of like what Heather St. Clair was. And practically, she was trying to run the school. She ran Spirit Squad. She basically was sassy and all that. But Paige's character had a lot of flaws. I mean, being raped by Dean in season 2, and then by season 4, basically, Dean got off scot-free because of lack of evidence, which leads me to believe, did Paige actually not want to talk about it, and that cost her dearly? Because I think if Paige talked about it, I feel like Dean was going to get in trouble. Of course, Paige had that trouble with Spinner, and then she basically goes into a relationship with Mr. O, a teaching assistant, which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't know why Paige would do that. Paige might seem desperate for a relationship and all that. Of course, season 5, she goes with Alex. Everyone's okay with the relationship and all that. That's good to hear. Paige had a decent relationship. And then she goes with a guy. She actually graduates. She goes to college. Unfortunately for Paige, she has panic attacks and she has to drop out. All that. And then Paige was in Degrassi Takes Hollywood. She ends up getting a lead actress job by luck, and she acts like a diva, even though that her personal life was terrible. Like, she was just an assistant to somebody trying to suck up to someone. Yeah, feel bad for Paige. Okay, so now here comes the MVPs. Now this is based on the season I made them MVPs. Number 1 is Toby. Season 1 is Toby. I mean, like Sean, I could have said season 1, but, Toby basically had a few storylines that he had to deal with divorced parents, because I believe it was his dad and Ashley's mom that got married. Yeah, that's right, because Ashley's dad ended up being gay and all that. I feel bad that I didn't put Ashley on the list for season 1, because Ashley had some great character, especially Jagged Little Pill, but I felt like Toby had a few stories to tell. And then by season 2, he was trying to have a relationship with Kendra. Unfortunately, though, he was a bit smothering. Like, he was just trying to get in a relationship because he felt like nobody loved him. And then unfortunately, that didn't last long, as Kendra broke off with him before season 4. Toby had that wrestling team thing. He wasn't really featured in a lot of big storylines. All that. He was kind of featured in season 6 with JT stabbing, season 7 with the fact that Lakehurst basically is coming to Degrassi. Season 2's was Craig, no doubt about it, because Craig's 2 big episodes actually bookended season 2. And the first one was basically when we were introduced to Craig, but he has a secret because his father beats him and all that. And he's related to Joey somehow because, Joey married Julia, who was Craig's mom and all that. Albert takes his aggressions out on the fact that Julia left him on Craig. He said, well, Julia's dead, because Joey mentions that in season 1. And, of course, you got yourself the fact that, Craig was being abused and all that. He was in a decent relationship with Manny in season 2. And then, his father tries to take him back, and then his father dies. Craig doesn't understand why he's happy. I mean, he's crying over his dad's death, even though he should be happy because, his dad abused him. All that. Terry helps him out with that issue. Craig, unfortunately, would get involved with Manny and Ashley in a love triangle in season 3, get back together with Ashley, and then he gets bipolar diagnosed in season 4, and then, of course, his character just had its good moments, but a lot of bad moments after season 4. Manny is my season 3 MVP for her storylines and all that. Not just because of her love triangle with Craig and Ashley, and the fact that she ended up getting pregnant by Craig, but how she interacted with Emma. People forget that Manny was the one who was trying to get Emma to go with Chris, the DJ, after Emma's breakup with Sean. And Emma says she refuses to do that and all that. Manny tries to dress like a more mature girl. Like she's got the look and all that. That was kind of cute. Unfortunately, Emma gets mad at Manny, basically calling her a slut and all that. She is right. Emma has a point. Unfortunately, Manny gets pregnant, wants to have an abortion. Emma basically is not happy with that. But Emma kind of, in a sense, agrees with Manny that it's her body, her choice. But Emma is still upset about the abortion thing. All that. Emma was nearly aborted and all that. I can understand. And, of course, Manny, after season 4, season 3, season 4, she was not with Emma as a friend because Emma had some pettiness towards her and Liberty. Season 5, she lives with Emma because Peter basically got her in trouble with her parents, and her father kicks her to the curb. Emma takes her in. Manny has to deal with Emma sneaking around with Peter and all that. Manny does help Emma a bit. In season 6, Manny was still living with Emma when JT died. Emma was upset that Manny refused to talk to Emma about the problems because Emma, I think, thought that Manny would love to discuss things with her. And sadly, though, there was a lot of issues and all that. But thankfully, Emma and Manny don't hurt each other anymore after that incident. Manny tries to have a relationship with Jay to take off her parents. She goes to college with Emma and Liberty, and she gets an acting job in Hollywood. Cool. Season 4 is Emma. Emma was basically... Season 4, there's a damn good reason why she's the MVP. Because in the previous 3.5 seasons, Emma was always perceived as pretentious, uptight, moralistic, and basically a bitch, if you will. I mean, I get it. Emma does these causes and, she wants to save the world. That's fair enough and all that. But the problem is that she basically gets people ticked off at her because, why would Emma do this shit? I mean, she riles up feathers. Season 2 was her at her absolute worst, if you will. Because she butts in when Snake and Spike are dating. I can understand why Emma was pissed off because, Spike is, her mom's dating her teacher, and she was going to get laughed at and all that. But she got more in tune with Snake and, accepted Snake. And then, of course, Spike gets pregnant, and Emma says that you shouldn't abort the baby and all that. Although it was Spike's choice, and Spike says, I'm not making that mistake again. That pisses Emma off, basically triggers her, if you will. She goes to Snake. Snake is upset more so that Spike was keeping it a secret and all that. But things worked out in the end. I mean, Emma did have the problems with the genetically modified foods protest and all that. She did have her flowers taken away by Radich, and she was going to actually wave the white flag, but they do this stupid mock commercial to get on Emma, and Emma gets triggered again. Emma accidentally starts the food fight. Radich basically pins everything on her and her flyers, and practically, Emma's unhappy. Emma decides to switch her stance on genetically modified foods to free speech. I mean, she does like GMO foods, but basically She knows that people don't like that talk. So she basically drops out for free speech. Raj is pissed off that someone would actually talk bad about him, talk smack about him. Then season 3, she had a lot of contention with Manny and also Sean, because Sean decided to go with Jay's gang instead of being with Emma. Emma in season 5 would have that problem with Peter, that weird relationship. It only worked out because Peter was willing to help Emma out with an eating disorder. Sean comes back in the picture in season 6 unexpectedly, and Emma's torn. Emma decides to go towards Sean, mostly because Peter framed Sean for drugs, and of course, Peter was a kind of crap head. Of course, she had his relationship with Sean, and Sean leaves for the army because he needed something better, and Emma was upset that she wasn't notified about this. And then so, Sean's there. She doesn't have a relationship till Damien. And of course, Damien proves to be a piece of crap towards her, dating Liberty behind her back. Hey, but Emma, give her credit, because, season 4 changed her personality. She decided to not have Liberty be blamed. It was basically Damien. And in season 7, remember, season 7 was when Emma was actually a Purple Dragon spokesmodel. And of course, she's told about all these rules and all that. And then Emma realizes that she's in the wrong. She shouldn't be modeling for that. And then the head person says, "You're not allowed to make those views while you have the purple dress on." And Emma says, "Fine." And then strips to her birthday suit. She gets in trouble for the dress code, but thankfully, she's not in trouble for staking her views. And Purple Dragon does make a few changes, I think. So yeah, and then of course she goes to college with Manny and Liberty. She finds a boy named Kelly. She tries to make herself more likable. That fails miserably. And then season 9, we find out how bad Emma is at school. She's okay in school, but she's dropping. She's not taking classes. She's just trying to make friends and all that. And of course, Kelly leaves her for a job in the Yukon, and Emma's upset because they had a plan called Recycle about recycling bicycles and all that. She goes to work at the Dot. She ends up marrying Spinner, and it was kind of a big random one-off. But of course, season 4 was huge because, Emma was pretentious. She actually had little friends because, she ticked off Manny and Liberty with a fact to get back at Chris, because she tries to prevent Chris and Liberty from hooking up. And of course, she protects Rick, seemingly because her cause was not taken seriously enough. Well, it was taken too seriously. She was trying to save her own butt, I know, but basically, Paige and her clique decided not to allow Emma, we're not going to support anything. Now that they figured that Emma, had an attraction to Rick, which was false. Rick thought that, but of course, Emma was just trying to do the right thing. Emma has the gun pointed at her by Rick. Sean saves the day, saves her life and all that. She has a few decent episodes, and then Secret comes out when basically Emma is revealed to have big problems with her issues. So basically, she had PTSD. She finally got the help she deserved and all that. Yeah, that really changed her character. Season 5 was JT. JT was comic relief and an actor and all that. By season 5, he ended up impregnating Liberty, and, he was trying to do everything in his power to make sure he and Liberty had a good life and all that. Unfortunately, no one was happy with that. And, JT was got a pharmaceutical job, and Jay tells, JT that he can sell drugs and make bank. And then, of course, JT does. He gets in trouble with the drug dealer. He's now in trouble for possession and distributing drugs. He tries to kill himself. He gets lucky because of Liberty's dad being a lawyer, that he didn't really get charged that much. Of course, JT dates Mia in season 6 and gets the scorn of Lakehurst because of Mia's relationship with Nick. JT gets fatally stabbed. I don't know if that was actually a hit by Mia's ex-boyfriend Nick or not. We don't know. JT, of course, bleeds out and dies, and it affects the school, and he has a garden named after him. Season 6 is Liberty. Liberty basically well, season 5 as well, but Liberty, got pregnant and all that. She had a kid. She put it up for adoption. The family moves to Seattle with the kid. And of course, Liberty gets postpartum depression, but her parents basically don't want to hear it and all that. But Liberty basically, in season 6, has grown to be jealous of JT's relationship with Mia and all that. It was basically maybe some kind of issues with the baby and all that. Of course, Liberty with that primal scream in We Rock This Town, and then, Liberty finally showing a lot of emotion and all that. I think that basically got her good. All that. Season 7 is Darcy. Darcy, I think, is the hero of season 7 because of how she went from good Christian girl to perceived as being a slut and all that, and basically self-loathing. Darcy has a relationship with Peter, which was kind of weird because, Peter had the bad relationship with Emma and Manny, and then basically Peter goes with Darcy and all that. Kind of toxic in a sense, but Darcy basically gets raped, unfortunately, because someone put date rape stuff in her drink and all that. She basically feels angry at herself. She's not perfect. She wanted to be a virgin and all that. People were going to call her a slut and all that. So basically, she feels so bad. She tries to kill herself twice, slashing her wrist in the shower and jumping off the roof. But thankfully, that fails. Darcy goes to Brad camp. Darcy understands about being raped and all that and talks about it and is fine. Everyone is happy with Darcy being the way she is. And of course, she goes to Africa in season 8. And speaking of season 8, how about her sister, Claire? We knew Claire from season 6 because Darcy's sister was revealed to be Claire. Claire was in the gifted program with Connor, Allie, and Casey and all that. Basically, in Degrassi community school, and, she came from a Christian school. She was basically more pious in a sense than Darcy. Season 8, she actually shined because she was helping Connor with the fact that the chef was basically overstepping his boundaries by getting rid of Connor and all that. And basically, when Chef was supposed to get some Teacher of the Year award, I guess for the football team, I don't know why. But anyway, they do this video that makes Chef look angry. Chef basically gets forced into sensitivity training. Claire's a hero. Claire basically decides to change her outfit from her Christian school look to basically a nice girl, her hair down, and basically getting laser eye surgery to remove her glasses. Unfortunately, Claire was a bit of a drama queen, if you will. She had a lot of things going on with Eli, with Jake. She was sexually assaulted by her boss, Asher. She got pregnant, even though she had contracted cancer and all that. She loses the baby. She gets mad at Pill for trying to help out through cameras and all that. And of course, we don't know her fate after season 14. Season 9 was Holly J. This was basically when Holly J turned from mean girl to decent character. Holly J was, of course, Heather's sister, and of course, Holly J was in the shadow of her older sister. She was being mean and bossy, basically bossing Anya around, basically making her lackey and all that. But when Allie basically does a Facebook thingy, I hate Holly J. Holly admits her mistakes and all that. She becomes a decent character and all that. I mean, yeah, that thing with her birth mother and a kidney and all that, basically bribing for $2,000 and all that. But thankfully, I believe Fiona saves Holly J's butt because she actually buys Holly J's mother's dress for $2,000, and basically the mother gets the money and gives the kidney to Holly. But she actually didn't really blackmail Holly with the $2,000, even though it was illegal. It was because she didn't want to lose her job, and she had 2 kids to deal with. I can understand that. Season 10 was Adam, of course, the transgender character that broke ground in Canadian TV and all that. And I liked Adam and all that. He was okay and all that. His family accepted him for who he was. She used to be Gracie, now he's Adam. It was great seeing Adam interact and all that. Adam having conflicts with Becky and all that because, Becky's background and all that. Unfortunately, Becky did not get an MVP vote for me, but Becky, was a decent character, but her parents were crap. basically saying that Luke's better than her and all that. I still say that Becky was unfairly biased against because of her relationship with Adam being transgender and all that. I don't know why, but that's just my opinion, people. So anyway, yeah, so Adam was great, and then they killed him off in a texting and driving crash. It's just like, God, why would you do that? Season 11 was Drew. Drew was Adam's brother, if you will. Drew had his moments and all that. He was a hotshot quarterback at a different school, and he basically was told that his penance over Riley was basically because of Riley's homosexuality, but no, Drew knew that Riley was hazing people and wanted to do the right thing. That's basically a drawback to the fact that Drew was unfairly biased against. Drew has a lot of issues. He and Bianca accidentally kill a guy. Drew is being targeted and all that. He tries to get away from it, the gang life and all that, and not have Bianca near him. Drew became a decent character, like season 14, going back to Degrassi and all that, being school president and basically getting in a problem with Pill because of her no affection policy. But Drew does get to graduate with everyone else because Pill actually learned that the seniors did some tribute to him, and she basically said that the school sticks up for one another. I don't know what Drew's path after season 14 was, too. Next is Sig, season 12. I feel like Sig deserved it because of his issues dealing with Cam's death. You know, Sig kind of pushed Cam to his death, if you will, to try to get him away from Maya. And so basically, you know, Sig was a troubled character, getting in games and all that. Maya basically has a relationship with Sig, trying to help Sig out because that's what she wanted to do and all that. I'll get to Maya later. But anyway, yeah. Sig was a decent character at the end. Season 13 was Zoe. Zoe was this actress who was on a reality show, and then basically she gets raped in season 13 by two boys, one of them being Becky's brother Luke. Zoe having issues, she didn't know if she wanted to kill herself because of the negativity about this thing. She gives a good sterling stuff about her rape trial and gets the two guys in deep shit. Zoe was basically pretentious in a way. She was captain of the power squad when they basically had the Degrassi nude situation, and you know, Zoe was trying to deflect blame on people, but it was found out she was in for it, and she basically is forced to do mundane things, all that, to avoid serving a 5-year jail sentence for child pornography, if you will, you know, Degrassi nudes and all that. So yeah, it's shocking as hell. But anyway, yeah, Zoe grew to be a better person. She actually got comfortable with her sexuality, saying that she was gay and all that. I forget who the woman was. I think it was Rasha, right? The actress? Well, the character, Rasha, but she gets in a relationship with Rasha. Her mom is upset by this, not just because, you know, Zoe is gay and all that, and it goes against part of her her Catholic values, but also because Zoe's mom lived off Zoe's income. And since Zoe didn't get jobs, even though she was being honest about her homosexuality, she basically wanted nothing to do with Zoe, basically saying that Zoe's worthless. Zoe learns that she doesn't need her mom to make her happy. And everyone else does. Season 14 was Winston. Now, I know you could have said Lola because of being part of the Degrassi Nudes thing, but Winston's the one who blew the lid off the Degrassi Nudes by being like a voyeur, if you will. Winston was decent and all that. I couldn't really think of anyone else who could be an MVP of season 14. Lola, maybe. Shay, I doubt it, but Winston, yeah. Season 15 was Lola. Well, I guess I named Lola the Degrassi Next Class Season 1 MVP because, you know, she was bubbly, sparkly. She had some good storylines, all that. Maya was a close second, but, you know, I had to put Maya somewhere, and Lola was going to get in a relationship with Saeed at the end of season 14, 18, Next Class Season 4, and basically nothing came of it. Next was Frankie, season 16. Frankie, of course, was the daughter of the now Toronto mayor, Miles Hollingsworth, and all that. I'm actually shocked I didn't put Miles in. I should technically put Miles in for season 1 or something like that. I feel so bad because I didn't put Miles in as an MVP and all that. Yeah, Miles deserved better for me. I'm sorry. But Frankie, yeah, season 16, it was the racism plot line. You know, they were mad that Northern Tech stole their closed fire drill, and basically they wanted revenge, and they did this poster thing. Unfortunately, a couple of them portrayed as volleyball players for Northern Tech as gorillas. You know, that's a racist taunt and or slur, if you will. And it's weird how, you know, Shay, especially Shay, turned on Frankie, even though Frankie got Shay's permission to do this. Um, Factoid. Of course, Frankie gets booted off the volleyball team. Frankie basically gets shunned for her racist thing, even though that it wasn't meant to be racist. It was just for the heck of it. Like, Frankie wasn't racist. I think Frankie just couldn't apologize to anyone's satisfaction. I think that they took it harsh too. They took it hard on Frankie, more so than you think. So anyway, yeah, Frankie turned out to be a decent character, if you will. She almost runs away from her problems, but she meets them head on, and you know, it's all right. Next is Maya. So yeah, so Maya was the season 3 MVP. Unfortunately, she got involved in a bus crash in Next Class season 3 and had some problems dealing with death and all that, and how she almost died and all that. But of course, Maya was introduced in season 11 as Katie's sister, as cello virtuoso, if you will. Season 12 was when she came to light, being in a relationship with Cam and trying to help Cam's homesickness and all that. But unfortunately, Cam kills himself. Maya has no chill during the memorial for Cam, saying that he killed himself in suicide. I get it, but she's harboring the fact that she's upset with herself for not helping Cam enough. And it harbors herself. Like, she has a relationship with Miles, but unfortunately by season 14, she turns out to basically try to prevent Miles from killing himself and all that. She thinks he's gonna end his life, but Miles blocked Maya off social media because Maya was always checking in on him. And Maya says, I can't have this happen again. But it was parallels to Cam. And also, like, she had nightmares about Drew jumping to the floor. And not Drew. Miles dropping to the floor when in fact it was Cam. Basically, her feelings for Cam were not unregulated. She didn't really say anything about the fact that Cam's death still haunted her. She just took it as is. So anyway, Cam's death really had an impact on her, and they spent multiple seasons dealing with Maya's issues. It wasn't like one season, that's it, you're done for. We're not going to come back to it. It was harsh. I mean, Maya was trying to help Miles because, you know, she felt like she didn't help Cam enough. Unfortunately, that gets her in trouble. Her mother basically says that it's fine, you want to help people, but don't ruin your life for him. Of course, she gets back together with Sig because Sig needs help and all that. Of course, she bumps into Esme and all that. They have a conflict in the final season. Maya goes to art therapy school in Southern California. I think USC, baby. And that's end season 18 with Esme. Like, Esme has to be the MVP. I mean, Esme's behavioral issues and all that. Esme thought that she was going to be a hero for saving Maya and get a lot of her attention. But when they drew the attention to Maya instead of her, she lashed out and basically wanted to discredit Maya. Especially with Sig being near Maya. Even though Maya was like, Sig, go to her. Go to her. He didn't. Unfortunately, we didn't know about Esme's problems. It would have been nice to see about Esme's issues. I don't remember if Degrassi High left anything major going on, except for that School's Out thing. But I would have thought they would have done a movie kind of like School's Out that they talk about it. But that's just me. Okay, so thanks for watching this Degrassi 2-bit video, and I'll see you sometime.